Okay, had a couple of y'all ask about the different woods we're going to be using for the grips we're going to be doing in the near future. Some of our custom ammo boxes, that kind of stuff. Again, that's why we named the channel The Benches 3. It's not just shooting stuff. Uh, Workbench, loading bench, and shooting bench. So this is a little section from our workbench section. But this is basically just some scrap stuff that I was making some quick cutout test patterns for. Um, Long story short, we'll just run through some of the woods here and show you what our grain's going to look like, a couple different types, and I'll show you the last two pieces, to my knowledge, of steam kiln wild cherry in existence. Coffee cup too. So here's just a piece of our plain old black walnut. This is not the purple heartwood that we're going to be using. I do have one piece, probably 10 inches by maybe 2 foot of purple heartwood, which it's actually purple. This is a extra set of pattern I was making for my buddy's 1937 3220 K-frame Smith. And this is actually a piece of cherry. It's not our steam kiln wild cherry. This was just a piece of bled cherry that we had. We do have a little bit of saw mark right here. None of these have been sanded out or anything, but this is just to show what happens when you put the oil to them. Before I do that, real quick, to show you what a quality wood looks like. This is another piece of our raw black walnut. It's got a little more purple tint to it. Again, apologize for the shop lighting. I still haven't got my new shop lights in. And this camera doesn't really pick up the colors in the wood and the grains. And this piece I absolutely love. This is a cross-sawn piece of the heartwood that was steamed in the kiln. The only place we could get this, there was one lumber company up in Kentucky, and they quit making this. Of course, we got a backlight here, so you can't really tell it with the sheen on it. But when you steam the wood in the kiln, where normally you can see some of the grain on this piece maybe in this lighting, but where you would have like red and then the white in the cherry, when you steam it in the kiln, it all bleeds together. And this, you hit it with the oil and it just brings out beautiful. But what had happened was the cabinet makers were complaining about the cherry being too dark, so they quit producing it. And again, that's the only company I know of in the entire United States that ever made that. Those are getting saved for really, really special projects. I also don't have my linseed oil or my tung oil, which is what I generally use. What we do have is just some plain old Red Wing boot oil. $29 a bottle too. So we'll simply take a paper towel, because I know I'm going to make a mess. And normally we won't put the oil on until afterwards, or until we get ready to finish, because you can't really sand it afterwards. But as I said, these are scrap pieces. And now this is a non-grain pretty much piece of wood. That's just a burn mark where we sawed it. But let's see what this looks like with just a little oil on it. So that's the difference in dry wood and an oil finish. Again, crappy lighting. This one I'm going to try on the back, but as you can see, it's just got a dry look to it. I'll just do a small section, that way maybe we can see some contrast. Or not. And out of curiosity on this side. Again, I normally wouldn't use this on grips because this will not penetrate. This is a really heavy, thick, to be honest, it's almost like a heavy machine oil. But it's a boot oil for leather, so it doesn't really penetrate very good. But it will give you a little bit of an idea on how it brings out the grain. And those that know me know how I'm about my walnut. I do most all my favorite is black walnut, so you can see why. Man, this stuff is oily. I was going to use olive oil just to show this, but apparently I'm out of olive oil. So here's the black walnut. This is a quarter sawn piece. So we basically get the lines of grain. Well, that one doesn't really have a wave grain pattern either, but here's the black walnut. So a lot of what I'm going to be doing is going to be in the black walnut. And as I said, this is a quarter sawn, more away from the heartwood piece. Even the sapwood and black walnut is really dark, but this is one of my favorite woods. I like this color for auto grips. For some reason it just matches the autos in my opinion. I really like the swirl grains for revolver grips. But again, that just gives you a little idea. Matter of fact, I think I've got a bad spot on this piece of cherry, so I'll hit the burr with it because this has to be cut out anyway. But as I said, this gets reserved for very, very, very special projects only. Don't know if you're going to be able to tell what this even looks like, but I don't want to get it on anything I'm going to use because this being a petroleum oil, it's not going to sand worth the flip. But maybe that'll give you a little idea of the color of it. And here, if the camera's even going to pick it up, is where I was talking about. You can see the wave patterns. And when that gets oil on it, oh, that just stands out. And it gets like a, I won't say exactly a burnt orange, it's kind of like a old, aged blood color. So what's your preferences? Most of the woods we're going to be using in the next couple of weeks is going to be the black walnut and some of the natural cherry. I do have white poplar, I have white maple, and I'm hoping I have some ash coming this week. I've got 3 logs that I have to split out and start drying. So a lot of my logs, I'll split the log by hand and then dry it and then hand plane it down, and that's where I get a lot of my woodworking materials from. Actually, this piece of walnut came out of one of the trees that I dropped and planed. So we will be going through quite a few hardwoods, but just to get everything up and running, yeah, that's all I've got in here. And not that the camera's going to pick it up, but this is a rather large piece of our yellow poplar, which actually has a greenish tint to the dark woods. This was out of a rather large tree we cut down. And again, this isn't ran through a sawmill. This has all been split out by hand. So we'll be showing you that also. And we're going to get into the next few weeks the custom knife cases, knife cases or gun cases. I've got a buddy of mine supposed to be bringing me some old 1908 production original wood windows. We're taking the glass out of it. I'll be cutting the glass for the display case tops for the knife cases. The pistol cases we're going to be making, which one I'll be making and we will be giving it away. Again, got to organize my shop, but we will be doing a full presentation case, custom fit to whoever wins it. They'll be custom fit to their gun with the velvet lining. You get to pick your lining, you get to pick what wood you want, and then we'll do a video of the full build start to finish on that before we send it out. Right, that's what I was just thinking. As far as I will try to put the Patreon and if I can, get the PayPal activated and put here for any of those that want to try to support us on the future endeavors. The ammo giveaways, the custom presentation box giveaways, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully I can link it to this. But since we're just now getting the channel up and going, hopefully we'll get over this problems we're having with the uploads. But leave a comment in the comment section if you need any info on anything. If this does not link or post, just leave a comment in the comment section. As you know, anything having to do with pretty much anything we do, there is no monetization on the YouTube. Again, I'm not doing this to get rich or for a living. I just don't want it taking too much money away from our women's shooting classes. But this week, since I've got the old loading bench out here, I am again working on getting the shop set up. The problem was, for those of you who keep asking me what happened to the lights, the guy that moved the shop up here, I did not know he was moving it at the time. I had nothing to do with it. A third party decided to have my shop moved. The lights that were chained to the ceiling were laying in the floor. My 5-foot toolbox, which was against the back wall, was laying on top of the lights. These 8 sheets of plywood over here, $98 a piece wholesale for the good maple ply, which we will be using on the channel, was laying on top of that. So again, that's where we're at. So tomorrow I should be finishing up the cleanup, getting everything restowed, stashed and organized. And I will be setting up the reloading bench, and we will have loading videos starting first of the week to middle of the week, depending on what you guys want to see. Anything you have requests for, leave a comment in the comment section. Like the video if you will. If you don't like it, leave a comment saying you don't like it and what's wrong with it. Again, sorry for the poor quality of the videos. We're doing this on a cell phone at the present time, just to have something to put up before I run to town to do y'all's big videos. But again, I'm just here trying to get the information that y'all are requesting. It's a whole lot easier than doing 17 tweets in a row just to get the info to you. Again, any recommendations, opinions, comments, leave them at the bottom. Anything else, just let me know, and we'll go from there.